Hello and welcome to Bloodfest, the podcast. Tonight, we're recording in a different way. We're actually split up in different areas, and if you're seeing me, you'll see that I'm just sitting in front of a curtain in my bedroom, and it looks like crap. Anyway, I'm joined tonight by Joey, who's running the whole show. Joey,
Usually,
show
usually
what?
I'm off camera, so this is a first.
We
Yeah,
don't.
but like you said, we're kind of doing things different. We're running, so instead of us recording and then doing post production editing, I'm basically the director now and piping this all through OBS. So kind of doing it live, no post production editing. So we'll see how the hell this goes.
Outstanding. And I'm also joined by Casey. Casey, how you doing tonight?
Been doing just fine. I haven't been doing a lot of movie watching this week, unfortunately, but I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight, so a lot of video gaming this week. But I've watched a few things, so I got some stuff to talk about tonight.
All right. And then who's that other guy who's with us again? Josh. Josh, how are things up there in Kansas City?
Yeah, that's me. Got sirens outside right now, but we always got sirens outside. At least there's not sirens upstairs.
Somebody else die?
You never know around here.
I think recently, didn't Joey have gunshots outside his house? So...
Yeah, just literally blocks away. Apparently, it started off as a high-speed chase or something or another, and a guy fired off some shots, and SWAT had to get involved. So yeah, I live in a very lovely part of town.
Yeah,
So we all live in the hood.
So much excitement, and I have raccoons. in my yard, so
Definitely in the ghetto.
So for all three of you who have been longtime listeners, Josh has been working on a long-term project. So Josh, go ahead and tell everybody, for the 5 people who will join us, tell everybody what it was you were doing.
I was doing a countdown of the 24 list. IGN's 24 list. Jesus Christ. IGN's top 24 movies from A24. And we've been going through.
Hold on, pause. When you start to stumble over your words, you can fix it easily. Just say, fuck it, I'll do it live.
Exactly. I'll write it and we'll run it. Oh God. Classic. All right. So we've been through several of them. We got down to number 15 on a couple episodes ago. We've just been jam-packing these episodes full, so we kind of slipped a little bit, but we're going to get a few out of the way today. But yeah, just kind of split these in here when we got some time.
All right. So we know that Casey hasn't watched a ton. Josh is just living in the world of A24. Joey, have you watched any interesting movies this week?
I actually, watching movies has been on hold. I've been working on a home project, kind of turning my living room into a home theater. Last weekend, I bought a projection screen and a sound system. So
is that what the science fiction flashy lights behind you are about?
Yeah, that's part of it. But like,
I thought you were a spaceship, dude.
But like right now, what you see on the screen, this is a 120-inch projection screen that I ended up buying off Amazon, which you're looking for projection screens. There's just a crap ton of projection screens, and you have to be careful. You got to read the reviews because there's a lot of complaints with some of the cheaper ones where the picture bleeds through, and so your image quality is not as good. Whereas you pay a little more and you get better cloth, then the material's better and it doesn't bleed through. So
now, what size did you say that was again?
This was a 120-inch. And
120 inches. Wow.
I looked at, God, I had to look through like 25, 30 different projection screens. And this one in particular, I just kept coming back to. And it's incredible. Like what you see up to right now, this is one I put on today. It's a double feature by Dark Force Entertainment, Gates of Hell and Psycho from Texas. And okay. Casey can talk more about these movies. He has a lot more than I do, but they made it just like a drive-in feature. So you have like the intermission and just that whole experience that you would have when you were a kid and you went to the drive-in. But this is the back area, so
Wait a minute.
nothing.
I got to stop you. So this gives you the experience you had when you were a kid when you went to the drive-in. So you get groped by a stranger behind the concession stand.
That only happened 15
What happens
times.
to every drive-in?
Only happened 15 times.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, this back area, and let me go back to it. Pretty basic right now. I just have 2 recliners, and then in the middle I have a stand with a projector and Blu-ray player. I know, fancy Blu-ray. And then I added the LED light bars up on the wall to kind of give it a nice lighting when I'm watching movies. Plan on adding more, but yeah, this right here is just a sample when I was playing Psycho from Texas earlier today, and it's really cool. I mean, you just get that old film look to it, and it's just these movies are just a lot of fun. Like I said, Casey can talk more on those. He has you have all but one, don't you?
No, I skipped out on the. They've got a bunch of like kung fu and cop type films that I skipped out on. So I've got 13 of them. They're about to release. They just released the 18th, but I do have 13 of them, so I'm not missing very many.
I think I've got. So I have the one Joey has, Gates of Hell and Psycho from Texas. I have one of the more recent ones that's got Whose Child Am I and The Weekend Murders, and then I've got Chaos, and what's the other one that's on with Chaos? I
don't go in the basement.
The basement. That's right.
Excellent.
That's right. I think those are the only 3 I have. Yeah.
Have you actually watched the number 18 yet? The new one?
I watched The Weekend Murders. Is that the one with The Weekend Murders? And
yeah.
I've watched.
Yep.
So I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched The Weekend Murders because that was the movie I was more interested in. I have not watched Whose Child Am I yet.
Cool. Well, yeah, I should be getting that soon. I ordered it along with something else. Another 4K coming out. The Dead Pit. So it's in production right now. They sent it off to get replicated, so I should be getting both of those pretty soon, hopefully.
So I really wanted to pick up the Dead Pit, but also it's so bad. But also I really want to.
Well, sadly, I haven't actually seen it, so that was a blind buy for me. So hopefully it's one of those so bad it's good type of movie.
Honestly, yeah, I like it a lot, but it's so bad. Yeah, but I've never seen it with a pristine, clear, sharp picture. Maybe it's actually good that way.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, it's got a 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb, so it may be all right.
Bad rating, honestly. Yeah,
that's pretty good rating for a horror film.
But I also think it's really bad.
Yeah, I just kind of from the trailer and some of the pictures, there's a chick kind of walking around in her undies
yeah.
A lot of the time, so that looks kind of nice.
Yeah. So, Joey, I was going to ask you here, on that giant screen you bought, so 120-inch screen, what would just a regular Joe like me be looking to pay if they went and got something like that?
I think this one was roughly $125.
That's not that.
So it's 120 inches, but the actual width of it is about 105, 110 inches wide, and then stands about 89, 90 inches tall. So it's pretty good size. It takes up most of the width of my living room, which is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So definitely, if you're going to get something like this, measure, because the last thing you want to do is get a big old screen and then it doesn't even fit.
This makes sense. I agree with you. Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm excited about it. It's really cool. I still have a lot of work to do, but
I personally feel like this is going to be a benefit to everyone. Well, I mean, not the people listening. Sorry, you're not invited. And not Josh, because he lives a billion miles away.
But he can make the drive.
Enjoy it. So
yeah, in case he can come over, Josh can make the drive from Kansas City. He has a car.
It's not that bad of an Uber.
Or he can.
That's true.
He has a horse and buggy. I mean, he's Amish.
What are you going to do about I noticed from your pictures, it looked like it was probably impossible to watch during the day.
Yeah, it's a
What are your
little bit
plans?
because you do get some bleed through of the sun. So this upcoming week, next week, I've been looking at some blackout curtains on Amazon, and I found some roughly between $20, $40. So for the front and the back of the living room, I'm going to add some blackout curtains. That way it just completely blacks out all sunlight. So that should remedy that issue, at least during the daytime. But surprisingly, even with the sunlight coming through whenever I was playing that movie, surprisingly, it wasn't really that noticeable.
That's good.
Honestly, yeah, but that's good. It's good.
Yeah, the blackout curtains will definitely be awesome because it is kind of hard to watch a movie at noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun is just blaring in. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to be getting next week, and then I'm going to get some shelves, try to get all my collectibles kind of neater looking. So still got a few projects to do to get this.
By collectibles, Joey means his massive dildo collection.
I do love my collection. I got some impressive ones.
I was gonna. So anyway,
God.
Gosh.
Speaking of dildos,
We're going to the dildo himself, Josh Weston.
When did Dildopolis open a second location? So anyway, now I'm off track. I'm thrown off. I lost my rhythm. Let me get my rhythm. Hold on. Okay, got a rhythm. Anyway, Josh, let's talk about your A24 list. Did you make it all the way to the end?
I sure did. I didn't skip any more this time. I made it all the way through.
All right.
Because there was no more Shakespeare. Or so I thought. I'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, so we left off right after this podcast a couple of weeks ago. I went and started Under the Skin. That was number 14. It's a second watch for me. The first time I watched it, I did not get it at all. But this time going in, I knew a little bit more of the background. Like, if you don't read the back of the box, which you should fucking do anyway, you don't know what the movie's about. They never touch on the fact that she's an alien. They never, if you just watch the movie without knowing anything about it, you don't know anything. Imagine that.
Okay, so I like to go into movies blind. I went into that movie blind. I didn't get it, but I fucking loved it. But I didn't understand a bit of it.
Yeah. When I got to the end of it, I didn't hate it, but I was like, what the fuck was that?
What's going on here?
Yeah. So then the second time, I liked it a lot better. And it made more sense, and it's a really good focus on like her changing. It's becoming more human, and fuck anybody that decides to do that, right? So
it's a good coming of age film.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it's I didn't have a whole lot of thoughts on that, just because it impressed me more than I thought it was going to, because I knew what the hell I was watching now.
So I'm going to do the thing that's my primary purpose here. Joey, have you seen Under the Skin?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. No.
Well, it does have Scarlett Johansson's boobies.
Oh, yeah. I'm watching that tomorrow.
Yeah.
That is why I watched it. That was really the only reason I watched it. And it was okay. It was very weird though, and I didn't quite understand it either. But
it is very weird. But it's okay. I hate saying this kind of thing, but it's a vibe. I mean, honestly, smoke a little weed, sit back, enjoy it.
Yeah, it's worth a watch for sure, but definitely weird.
There's some deep analysis to be done, but you don't have to. It's an experience, and it's worth having.
Yeah, the second time that I watched it, I definitely did went a little bit deeper and just experience the character a lot more, and it's definitely worth having an interesting fuck it, we'll do it live. An interesting conversation about. But yeah, I definitely recommend reading the back of the box and watching it once.
Yeah. What's next?
13, we had 8th grade, which you don't have to do a whole lot of research on or know what you're talking about in order to watch this one. This was fun. Not a lot happens in it, but it was a good time. Well, I mean, it's a bad time too, but it's basically just about a girl in the 8th grade and just a couple of the experiences that she goes through.
Bo Burnham movie?
Yeah.
So is that like a surprise? I mean, would we have expected Bo Burnham to be capable of writing and directing this?
A lot of the people that and maybe one of you other guys know a little bit more about him, but as far as I know, he's just like a stand-up comedian that does some songs. Yeah. And yeah, some of them are serious, but I wouldn't expect anything like this from him.
Yeah. So have either of you gentlemen seen 8th grade?
No, I want to watch it at some point because I have heard it's really good. And I don't really know much about Bo Burnham. Did he start out on YouTube, or am I wrong on that?
Yeah,
I believe so, yeah.
Songs, yeah. And then he blew up and started getting his own comedy specials, and he's actually good. He did during the pandemic, he did a special called Inside that was very funny, but also really smart.
Mm. Yeah, the only other thing that I remember him from is Promising Young Woman, which was pretty good.
I love that movie.
But I guess he was in Hall Pass too as a bartender. That was a funny movie.
I've not seen.
I've seen Hall Pass, but I don't remember him.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but then I do want to see 8th grade at some point. I just haven't got around to it yet.
So Joey, what did you think of 8th grade?
I really loved it. You know, I was really excited to get out of middle school and finally get into high school. So, you know, so it was a very memorable school year for me.
I had a lot of fun in 8th grade. Yeah. What next, Mr. Josh?
9th grade.
9th. Had that in your pocket.
Yeah.
He's over here sandbagging me.
All right. Number 12, we had the Lighthouse.
Oh, God.
This one promised to be weird, and it was fucking weird.
This movie.
But
had you seen this before?
I had not.
Okay.
No, I went into it just pretty much blind. I mean, I knew it was two guys that worked at the Lighthouse, and that's pretty much all it is about. But it gets so weird. I don't even know what to say about it except for that.
So before I do this, Casey, have you seen the Lighthouse?
No. I don't think it's one I'm going to watch. So if you want to spoil it, feel free.
Joey, have you seen the Lighthouse?
No.
Are you going to be upset if I spoil something by asking a question?
Dude, I listen to you spoil the shit out of Halloween Ends.
Okay, that's true. Okay, John. Are the two men actually the same man? Is it an old man grappling with the mistakes made by his younger self? Is that what's going on in this film? Or is it just gay stuff?
There's definitely some undertones if you want to look for them, but I didn't really catch that at all. But it's definitely that was the answer to your second question. The first question was it could quite possibly be, and you don't really. I don't know. I kind of went into this more simple-mindedly. I didn't really look for that kind of stuff, so it was more like just two guys battling it out. But then again, if it is one person, it could be two people battling it out. So that's a really good point.
So the other question I really think you have to be asked is, was he fond of his lobster?
God damn it.
Can't help it. So this film was written and directed by Robert Eggers, and it was his follow-up to The Witch. And I mean, I see how that's the same guy, but at the same time, how is that the same guy?
Yeah, I mean, once you know that, it does make a little bit of sense, because he does have a lot of the same kind of, I don't know, it's fucking weird. So yeah, it is Robert Eggers.
I love it so much. Did you like it?
I did like it. There's a lot of time. It kind of dragged a little bit, but then it kicked back in, and at the end of it, I was screaming, "What the fuck!" But it was worth a watch. I enjoyed watching it. Of course,
You
it
know?
was Willem Dafoe. I mean, how are you going to go wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, Pattinson is becoming really kind of impressive, honestly.
Yeah. And I'll talk about him here in a minute, too. He's got a couple movies on this list, and he's not the Twilight guy anymore. And I like that because I'm tired of making fun of it.
Yeah. Well, I'll always make fun of it, but
well, yeah.
Come on, it's about an old man who wants to fuck a little girl and werewolves and sparkles and the dumbest baseball game I've ever seen. So, I mean, if I was like a 400-year-old vampire, I just probably wouldn't enroll in high school, because that seems problematic. Now, what's next on the list?
Oh, damn. Speaking of Pattinson, I didn't know it was going to be this soon. Good Time is number 11. This was a pretty straightforward film about a guy who gets in trouble and is just trying to run from the law and get his brother out of the hospital at the same time. Yeah. It's just one bad decision after another, and I identified with this movie because I make bad decisions all the time.
I can vouch for that.
But yeah, I really liked it. It was really dark, and he just, like I said, just does the wrong thing every single time. You'll be staring at the movie going, "Don't do that," and he'll do it anyway.
Have either? Okay, hold on, no, I'll do it. So, Casey, have you seen Good Time?
No, and I was just reading about it on IMDb. It doesn't look like something I'd be into anyway.
You should be. So, Joey, did you enjoy Good Time?
No, I was just actually looking at it on IMDb, and I don't think it's something I'd really be into.
All right. So, Josh, how do you rank Good Time?
Good Time,
head above water.
Yeah. I mean, I'd watch it again. Even knowing how it. Why is everybody laughing? I hate being on video. The fuck you guys doing?
Temporary layoffs, easy credit payoffs, Good Time.
I hate you.
I'm sorry. All right. Yeah, it is really good, actually. I was impressed. I was quite impressed by it. So yes, and once again, Pattinson isn't. He's not afraid to make himself kind of ugly, kind of scuzzy.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that. Okay, what's next?
Then we got Lady Bird.
Oh.
Yeah, this one was from 2017, so quite a while ago. And it's got what was her name? I'm gonna butcher that first name, so I'll let you take it.
Saoirse.
Yeah, that. This one, Jennifer had seen it before, so she sat down and saw it with me. And it was another coming of age story, and it was like, instead of 8th grade, we were in 12th grade, and it's just about a senior in high school, but it's like a Christian school or something like that. But it was just a rebellious teenager, and what's her face? Laurie Metcalf is her mom, being neurotic as always. But it was a fun time. It was not a fun time, but it was fun.
Did you watch? And he's canceled now, but that Louis C.K. web series, Horace and Pete.
Mm-mm.
So there is an episode of that, and the entire episode is Laurie Metcalf and Louis C.K. talking, and she should have gotten all of the awards. I mean, she should have gotten the award for stonemasonry and the award for best person to go to the moon, as well as all the awards for acting, because it is the most amazing thing, really. If you can find it online somewhere, don't give Louis C.K. money, but if you can find it somewhere on YouTube or something, check it out. Just find the Laurie Metcalf episode. It is absolutely fucking amazing. So
yeah,
sorry,
I'd watch her do anything. She's pretty great.
On a side road there, but
that's all this podcast is side roads. So you're fine.
Okay. So I want to address that. So when you say that all it is side roads, people are going to think of like a fork in a road, like a traditional fork, and one of them goes off in the wrong direction. But I think of it more like a railroad siding. So what happens is the track is going right that way, right? But we don't go right that way. We go off on this little side thing, but it scooches back in and goes the way it's supposed to go. So is that really a side road?
If I say no, will you stop?
Maybe. So what did you think of well, hold on. So have you guys seen Lady Bird? What is
Nope.
it with you guys and not watching Oscar bait?
I don't think I've seen a lot. Like, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of those. I mean, it looks okay, and I like the actress. I really liked her in, and of course I can't remember the name of it. One where she was kidnapped. The Lovely Bones.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that was her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was amazing in that. That was an awesome movie. So I would definitely watch this one. Just for her, but
it's good. Honestly, the entire thing is carried by that character, by Lady Bird. She's odd, and she's not always completely likable, but at the same time, she just has a personality that you enjoy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you feel that way?
Yeah, like she's definitely not the good guy, but you still follow her anyway.
Yeah.
And again, with an A24 film, you get things thrown at you, but she handles them. And I think that's one of the weird things about this whole freaking countdown was that I did not realize I was going to be watching so many drama films. Like, I just thought it was going to be a bunch of weird shit, and I ended up getting feelings a lot of the time.
God damn you, how dare you make me feel things. I'm an American, I'm repressed, damn it.
Exactly.
Speaking of repression, what's next on the list?
Well, this is actually one of the films that brought me into this goddamn thing. And I'm going to butcher the name, so I'll have you fix it for me. It's Ex Machina.
Ex Machina.
Machina. Mm-hmm. Anyway, McEnroe. It's got John McEnroe in it. But yeah, this one, I'd seen it already, and it's great. And I watched it again just because it was on the list. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, maybe Joey hasn't seen it because he doesn't watch movies, but I'm pretty sure Casey's seen this one.
Yeah, I've watched this one a couple times. It's really good.
Yeah, I agree.
I think everybody should either have seen it or should see it. It's just
so for
awesome.
Anyone who hasn't seen it, the conceit is this young superstar programmer wins like a week at the estate of his boss, who's like superstar programmer, and when he gets there, he finds out that he's actually got a job to do. The boss has invented a perfect AI, and it looks like a woman, sort of, and he is supposed to determine if it's actually sentient or not, and that's the setup.
Yeah, that's about it, and then it just gets weird.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
It's really good. It's really really good. And I'm blanking on her name. What's her name?
Alicia Vikander.
Yeah.
Yes. She is incredibly good in it, as is Oscar
Isaac.
Isaac. Damn.
He's always good too. I've got the poster in front of me, otherwise I wouldn't have known either.
I couldn't remember, and I've seen him in 100 things I've liked, but what the hell's going on with Joey?
He's in and out.
Oh. Okay, let's not get too deep into that because it's going to worry me. What's after Ex Machina?
This one you're going to have to shut me up about because we're at number 8, and this is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh yeah.
Which is my pick for 2022, maybe my pick of the fucking century. It's just so great. I can't talk enough about this movie.
Everybody here hates that movie.
I've never seen it.
No.
God damn it.
How have not?
You need to watch it.
You listen to the three of us rave.
But isn't it an animation or some shit?
No.
What is it?
It's hard to explain.
Exactly what it is. It is a movie about a woman and her husband who own a laundromat and are on the verge of losing it because of their tax troubles.
He did that on purpose.
It's a lot more than that.
You're not wrong. That is exactly what it's about.
It has Jamie Lee Curtis in it a lot, so you might want to watch it.
This is a movie that will make you both laugh and cry.
Mm-hmm.
If the action scenes will put you on the edge of your seat, there are things that will make you go, "What the fuck is this?"
Is the crying part on par with Marley and Me?
It's got hot dog fingers.
That sounds stupid.
No, it's really good, dude. It's in the remember the kid Data from Goonies?
Oh
The one with all
yeah.
the gadgets.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
in it as an adult.
Huh.
He's the husband.
Oh.
I didn't think I'd ever see him again.
Yeah, and then I don't remember. So Michelle Yu, is that right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I know her from anything else, but she was excellent in it. Amazing.
Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
That's
Yeah.
Kung Fu. I don't think Casey would watch that.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of that stuff. So
Yeah, it's a great movie. So it has one of the greatest lines, I think, in the history of cinema, and it's a simple line, and out of context it doesn't mean anything, but in context it's beautiful. In another life I would have really liked just doing laundry and taxes with you.
Yeah,
I choked up at that line. All 3 times I've seen it now, I've choked up at that line.
that actually gave me chills just you saying that, to be honest.
Same here. Ugh, chills all over.
Oh my God.
It's an amazing film, and it really you have to see it, Joey. It has
I'll check it out. I mean, it does sound like it has a great cast.
it's action, comedy, romance, end of the world, sci-fi. It's everything.
Where's the horror in this though?
there is a pinata fight
Oh shit! That's classic
between
80s
two
slasher.
pinatas.
I just love I know I can't because Joey hasn't seen it. So
it is long. It's almost 2 hours and 20 minutes. So you definitely want to set aside some time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know, for me, it just flew by though. It did not seem like it was that long.
Yeah. No, if you'd asked me the first time I saw it, if you'd asked me how long it was after I saw it, I would have said hour 50, hour 55. Yeah, but it's zippy.
It is zippy.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a fun fact. Another name of this movie, I don't know where, is A Woman Tries to Do Her Taxes.
I like it.
Also known as.
I like it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'd buy a ticket for that. So
I would not.
I would.
I would now. I mean, if I knew that was the movie, I mean, I actually want a slipcover with that on it. That would be great.
Yeah. All right, what's next on the list, Josh?
Next, we ran into The Green Knight.
Yeah.
That was I keep forgetting which number I'm on. That's number 7. This one was another really long one, but for me, it was that long. I could tell that it was long, and I checked a couple of times to see how long it was still on it. It had a good story. It kept my interest. It just, I don't know. It hits you that A24 curve, and you just like, wait a minute. And it's just at the end you get, classic plot twist, but it's just your, I don't know, classic medieval quest story. I mean, there was a lot to like about it, and I think if it was shorter, I would have liked it more.
So, have either of you guys seen it? I'm not gonna ask Joey. Casey, have you seen it? So it is Robert Edgar's take on kind of classic Arthurian myth. So Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is a classic part of the Arthurian legend, the Morte d'Arthur, all of that crap. But he takes a different tack with an overdone story, and he turns it into, frankly, a coming of age story. He turns it into a test of manhood story. And if you dig the Arthurian thing, which I kind of do, and if you like a movie that's made in such a way that 2 or 3 days after you finish it, if you're still thinking about it, you'll go, oh, that's what that means. Then I think it's a good movie for you.
Yeah, I got it later. I mean, it was one of those ones you have to think about.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't want to. After so many of these movies, I just wanted a movie where I don't have to think about anything.
Just watch a little Lucio Fulci. See something.
Dude, where's my car?
Titanic.
Oh my God. There's
Titanic.
a reset button.
Definitely Titanic.
Titanic. The second half, maybe.
Versus Titanic.
Thumbtanic. Thumbtanic.
Okay, I'll watch Thumbtanic.
YouTube it. You won't regret it.
I feel like I could regret it.
No, it's amazing.
It's exactly what it sounds like. And
Yeah.
it's
Next.
it's not a waste of time.
It's almost as good as llamas with hats.
Okay, now llamas with hats, that's my kind of thing.
Yeah.
My kind of thing.
Carl!
You can't do that, Carl.
Have you seen Tree Friends? Has anybody seen this?
I
No.
don't think so.
Yeah, is it Happy Tree Friends or just?
I've seen Happy Tree Friends.
Happy
Oh,
Tree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know this existed. I learned about this today. I'm gonna have to track it down.
My kids actually watched that when they were little. That's how
Yeah.
I found out about it.
Yeah, it's one of my worst qualities of being a parent. I introduced that to them. And it was not a good idea.
And are they completely deranged now?
Of course they are. I mean, they were going to be anyway. My damn kids.
Is it better than Moral Oral or worse than Moral Oral?
I don't know Moral Oral, so I couldn't tell you.
Neither do
You should find it. So it's a claymation show, and it's created by Dino Stamatopoulos. Did you watch Community?
Yeah.
Starburns? You know Starburns?
Kinda. He
Okay.
sounds. I remember the character. I don't know who he is though.
That's played by Dino Stamatopoulos, who not only was on the show, but was also one of the writers of the show. Prior to that, he created this Adult Swim show, Moral Oral, and it takes place in like Bible Belt America, and it's about this kid who takes all of the extreme religious stuff incredibly literally, and it's hilarious and dark. The masturbation episode is one of the best things I've ever seen.
I
As
guess
it
I
should
should
be.
watch that.
Yeah,
Oh.
sounds great.
Yeah,
If for no other reasons, that's the reason.
There's also a zombie episode.
No, you already had me, man.
There's also
You had me at masturbation.
How about, is there a masturbating zombie? Then maybe I'll be in.
not a masturbating zombie, but
Oh.
God.
Just not groundbreaking enough, I guess.
what's after the Green Knight?
Well, speaking of not having to, watch a bunch of twists and turns and emotional shit, next is Green Room.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Not a lot to think about on this one. It was pretty straightforward, and it was probably my third time watching it. I mean, you can think about it if you want to, but
Yeah.
you don't have to. The point is to get the fuck out of there.
run! Patrick Stewart's a Nazi. Go before he engages on you.
And I don't think I ever would have imagined somebody would say that sentence, except for just being weird. But
Yeah, I know.
Patrick Stewart is a Nazi.
Nazi
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick Stewart. Okay, so to be fair, if you look at British royalty and stuff, a lot of Nazis there, so the Sir part probably doesn't fix anything. But
Point.
so Casey, you've seen Green Room, yes?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it's definitely a really good one.
Yeah. So for anyone who hasn't seen it out there, the premise is Anton Yelchin and Imogen Poots are in a little punk band, and the show that they drove to go do gets canceled. And dude's like, "That's okay though. You can go do a show at this place. They'll play you, but be careful because they might be some Nazis." So the guys go and they play Nazi punks fuck off, and they put on the show, and then they're in the green room and they accidentally see the Nazis committing a murder, and so now they're in trouble. That's the premise, and it is a straight ahead, full throttle action movie. I bet Joey loves it. Joey, do you love The Green Room?
Oh, it's just a phenomenal movie. Like you just had a great cast, great performance, great storyline. Credits were great. Ending was great.
What was your favorite part?
The ending was incredible. The ending just threw me off, and that was definitely the best part. No, I haven't seen it.
Aliens, and that's what you like.
I think I want to shock you on the next one that's on the list, though.
Okay. What's next on the list?
Well, Joey's got a copy of the list, as everybody else should at this point, because I've been bothering everybody.
Everybody else, it's on the screen, so everybody can see it.
Fuck. Well, without further ado, number 5 is Hereditary.
Great movie. I've seen it.
I know you.
The head.
Hey, let's give him a round of applause.
The head bashing into the telephone pole was just, oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, that is the only part that I remembered, because the first time I saw it, I drank a lot and I didn't get it. I didn't want it. I went back into this list thinking I just hate it again. And I changed my mind. This one was a whole lot better than I thought it was. It made more sense. There was more stuff involved. It's, to me, it just made a better story for me.
So I feel like this movie is about generational trauma. It's about what we do to our kids and then what they do to their kids as an effect of that. And also it's about witchy cult shit and sawing off your own head with piano wire. So yeah, it's everything I want.
Yeah, that movie's very creepy. I've only seen it once. I definitely need to check it out again, but I remember the ending specifically being pretty horrifying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a couple of scenes in there with just things happening that I don't need to see again. I mean, I probably will, but I don't need to.
So this was the debut from Ari Aster or Ari Aster. Ari, I bet it's Ari, honestly.
Ari.
Is it
Yeah,
Ari?
Ari sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
Who right out the gate here, he gave us something genius. And later in the list, I'm pretty sure we're going to come up to his second movie, the greatest film ever made. So anyway, what's after Hereditary, Josh?
Number 4 was The Witch.
Great.
All
All films are on here.
Huh?
All 3 of Robert Eggers' films are on here.
Yeah. It's just,
The Witch.
they seem to like him pretty well over at IGN. So, but I watched it again. I didn't care for it, and I think this has more to do with the whole Shakespeare thing again. They started talking, and I got turned off. I didn't care.
Really?
There were some good things in this movie. There really were. And there's some great scenes. I did not connect with it. And when it ended, I said, okay. And I went on to the next one.
So you're telling me that you don't want to live deliciously?
See, I think I just skipped that.
was that the little boy when he was like dying and he was just going on and on? That's probably the part that you probably just completely zoned out on.
I think so.
Because he was talking and like Shakespearean type language. I thought it was kind of weird too, because I'm not into that either.
So my favorite character is Black Phillip. I think he is amazing. He is the hero of the story. So honestly, and I know Casey's seen The Witch and is a big fan.
Yep.
We know that Josh has seen it and doesn't like it. So Joey, have you seen Robert Eggers' The Witch?
No.
No. Right. Well,
that's
at least not that I'm aware of. I mean, there's a lot of movies I watch and then I just don't remember them by name. So, but I want to say probably not.
So I'm going to throw this out here for the other 2 that have seen it. I think this movie has a happy ending, and I've had people tell me that I'm insane.
Oh, I love happy endings.
I mean,
Exactly.
Well, yeah, at a massage parlor, yeah, but
I wasn't going that direct
for this reason.
I mean, Thomason seems happy in the end, if that's what you're getting at.
So she got out from under. I mean, they're dead, but out from under the repressive parents who honestly hated her and blamed her.
Yeah, that's true.
And she went off to go join a group that's going to accept her and celebrate her and help her find her power and place in the world. Plus,
which kind of
witch stuff, there's going to be a lot of kinky sex. So
yeah, and that's kind of similar to one of the other movies that are coming up. One of Ari Aster's other films, with the ending, a happy ending for the main character.
Yeah, there might be a theme there. Might be a theme there. We get to the greatest film ever made. So what's up next?
Well, you called it. It's the greatest film ever made. It's second watch for me. Both times were completely sober, so it's not alcohol's fault. I didn't get it. I know you guys love this movie. I can't fucking stand it.
It's so good. So good.
I watched it again with more open mind and knowing the end. A lot of it made more sense, and as things were happening, it started to make more sense to me, and I got it. I think after about 4 more times of watching it, I'll like it. But I should not have to watch a movie 5 times in order to like it. It's you're not going to Stockholm Syndrome me into making this my favorite movie. It's not going to happen.
I don't know. We might try hard enough. So there are overall the feminine empowerment theme of the movie is strong and well played, and I like that a lot. I
got that the second time. Second time that hit a lot, and I knew exactly what was going on with that.
Yeah, it's a story about Dani finding and embracing her power. Honestly, she's no longer going to be under the thumb of other people and controlled, especially not by men like Christian, who is like world's worst boyfriend. Honestly,
terrible.
He starts off being that way. Like at the end, you don't. Well, I guess spoiler alert. Sorry, but you don't care what happens to him at all, if anything.
And Josh, did you watch the director's cut or the?
No. When Nate told me there was a version that's longer, I said, "Fuck that."
Because that version, I think, gives you even more of an insight into their relationship and how much more of a dick he is to her. There's just a lot more time spent on their relationship.
That version also kills the pacing a bit, especially the scene at the river with the little boy. That goes on a bit too long, and it does. It kind of drags. It kills the pace. I love it. I'm glad it's there. I would not have wanted it to be there the first time I saw the movie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it slows it down where it shouldn't slow down. I think there are amazing small and large touches in the film. First of all, I don't know if you noticed, but in the opening section of the film, in Dani's apartment, over her couch, there is a painting of a young woman and a massive bear, which is interesting foreshadowing. It does, after the sisters murder-suicide, the scene of Dani weeping uncontrollably, the camera moves out toward the window. It is a dark night. The snow is coming down. We move out into that, and then we cut to bright, beautiful sunshine. And what that tells my brain from 50,000 movies watched is, we were in the dark times. Now we're out in the light where everything's good and pretty, which sets us up perfectly for getting fucked over and destroying our expectations, even if they're subconscious expectations. When we first get to the Harga people driving along in the car, as they approach the village, the camera flips completely over. So we make the last bit of the trip completely upside down, which is slightly disorienting. That disorientation puts us slightly off our feet and matches with the disorientation Dani is about to have by taking psychedelic mushrooms and having a completely bad trip. I don't want to just sit here and talk for 40 minutes about all the things I think are wonderful, lightly done touches, but it's just through the entire thing. There are tiny little bits. The entire plot of the movie is actually laid out on like a tapestry that you see there at the place. I mean, it has like everything that happens on it, which is brilliant. Just show it to you, and then we'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned the scene where Dani is, sobbing uncontrollably. You know what scene I'm talking about? That's like one of the greatest crying scenes I've ever seen in a film. Like you can feel her pain.
Yeah, Florence Pugh is very, very good at that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll watch anything she's in. She's been fantastic every single time I've seen her.
Yeah. She is.
And it's not her fault I don't like this movie. At all.
She's in that other movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in theaters now. A lot of people are hating on
Darling
it.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Darling.
Come, my darling, or whatever. Yeah, that looks interesting.
Yeah, I want to see that one. That looks like a mind fuck.
There we go. I have to turn off my camera for a minute. Don't worry.
What are you guys doing over there?
Apparently, things going wrong in the backyard. So I'm gonna go help find out what it is. But I'm gonna take the phone so I keep talking.
It's probably raccoons.
Well, I hope so. Shush, doggies.
So is Midsommar the final one on the list?
No, we got two more, which is kind of weird considering. I mean, not just Nate, but like how popular this movie is. I mean, a lot of people think that this is awesome, and it's whatever it is. But number 2 was Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Which, if it wasn't for this list, I probably wouldn't have watched because I didn't care. It's another one of those movies where just a guy makes bad decision after bad decision, and it's just whatever he does is just dog shit. It's just, I don't know. I kind of identified with that. But it was Adam Sandler being serious for some reason, and it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that as well.
I don't really want to talk about the end, but it's just at the end, it's just you feel just about as worthless as you did going in.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But yeah, I don't think there's very many, if any, Adam Sandler films that I haven't watched. Because I mean, he's put out a lot of shit, but he's also put out a lot of good stuff too. But I was definitely surprised by that one. And the ending was pretty sad. Yeah, it's I probably wouldn't have watched it if he wasn't in it.
Yeah, if I hadn't seen Punch Drunk Love, then I probably wouldn't have even bothered with this movie. I mean, just because, like, it's Adam Sandler, I know what to expect, but I really liked Punch Drunk Love. I mean, it just showed me that he could actually act as opposed to just being Billy Madison every time.
Right.
So, and to me, that's, I don't know, it's important to be able to do more than one role.
Yeah, definitely.
They're all going to laugh at you.
Exactly. Welcome back, Joey. Hey, have you seen Uncut Gems?
No.
That's what I thought.
Have you?
Did you just miss everything he said?
I kind of stepped away.
Well, now Nate's gone fighting raccoons.
Yeah. Was that you in Nate's backyard?
Pretty much.
And then Nate's just not going to come back?
No, I just had a wild cat outside.
Can you hear me?
Needing fed, so.
Yeah, kind of.
No.
Okay.
Man, let's. I mean, you're back just in time. If you got any more thoughts of Uncut Gems,
So I missed what everyone said. I will say that I rather enjoyed it. It's pretty fucking depressing, and Adam Sandler is surprisingly good, which is weird to say.
Yeah, it's one of those roles where, like, for most of the time you hate him. I mean, he does some really shitty stuff, and then you root for him at the same time. It takes a special character for you to be able to do that too.
Yeah, I agree with this. So that's number 2, yes?
Yep.
So what's number 1?
I waited a couple more days after that. It took me like 6 days to get the courage to watch Midsommar again. And then after that, I jumped right into Uncut Gems. And then I waited a few days because I didn't really care about Moonlight. Moonlight is number 1. So kudos to them for that. But I did enjoy it. I liked it. It's not a movie that I would have picked or would ever want to watch. But it's just about a black youth's journey through his sexuality and just growing up in his neighborhood. And that's pretty much it. I mean, everything else is just filling in, but it didn't seem like a long movie. Like, what I can tell you about it is 2 sentences, but an hour and a half is okay to watch it.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. So I actually read the screenplay, and the screenplay is beautifully written. It is some of the best screenwriting I've ever read. It's probably better than the finished movie, but the finished movie is very good. I'm surprised to see it at number 1 on this list. I think it belongs farther down than that, but not that far down. So have either of you seen it?
No. Don't care to.
No, Joe doesn't watch movies, so. So you've been through their list, and it's all wrong, right?
It's all wrong. I thought I'd have it done by today. I'll take a couple minutes next time and let you and have a more comprehensive, like, what my order would be, and anybody else can do the same. I don't agree with this order at all.
But I'm not doing just the 24 on that list. I'm doing the best 24 because they've got some on there that don't belong on there.
Oh yeah, Lamb's gonna go in there, and I'm gonna yell it at Casey for like an hour and a half.
Lamb, the second movie ever made.
I mean, I'd rather watch that than some of the other ones that are in this list, probably.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Awesome. So I know Casey wants to talk here in a little bit about a couple of movies he saw, some pickups and stuff. But before he does that, before we get into his happy stuff, I want to bring us all down. So I want to talk about a specific movie that I love, and I'm going to do something a little different than I ever do. Normally, I'm a very off-the-cuff kind of guy for this stuff, but I don't want to screw this up. I want to get my thoughts as they belong about this film. So I actually wrote it, and I'm going to kind of halfway read it to you. And it's going to start out a little odd, and it takes a while for me to even mention the film I'm going to talk about. But just stick with me, guys. I'm making a point, and this one isn't because of my brain damage. So is everybody ready to go?
What's the film?
You'll find out.
Well, I need to know so I can pull up the appropriate...
It's the only one I suggested photos for you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
By the way, are you naked? Where's your video?
Oh, hold on. I'll get back on video.
Put your pants and shirt back on.
Hold on.
Are we taking turns or?
Hold on. Let me get back.
Creepy. He's probably sitting there fapping, watching us.
All right. So before I specifically start this, I'm gonna give you guys a quote from a film. This line was said by John Amplis to Tom Savini in George A. Romero's Martin, and this actually feeds into what I want to say. Things only seem to be magic. There's no real magic. There's no real magic ever. So when I was a little kid, I would play with my cousins in the forest near my house. It was a wondrous place, full of shifting light and undiscovered terrain that opened itself to everything we could dream or imagine. There was one time that we found a stone fireplace and chimney just setting in a small clearing, like an artifact that had no business being where it was. It was kind of like finding an office building on the moon, an impossible question. Now, grown up as an adult, I get it. There was a house there. It got demolished. It burned. The chimney stood. Nobody wanted to rebuild. There's no reason to tear down the last little chunk, so the fireplace just waited there for us to find it. But then, when we were small, it was pure magic. The idea of a house never entered our minds. Instead, we talked of who might have constructed it there, what might have constructed it there. Were there people, ancient and savage, strange, still living in those woods? Did they light a fire when the moon was full? What sort of dark rituals drew them? We'd talk until our words filled us with terror and we ran out of the woods and back to my house. That, down at its root, and root is a double entendre here, is what folk horror is. It's the belief that once there was magic, and that magic was dark and sharp and hungry, and that even if it was gone, it hasn't gone far. The standard example that people think of when they think of folk horror, The Wicker Man, The Witchfinder General, Blood on Satan's Claw. But the genre's made a pretty major resurgence in the last few years with movies like The Witch, A Field in England, The Ritual, Gretel and Hansel, Gaia in the Earth, They Remain, Midsommar, the greatest movie ever made, and some others. But the film I'm talking about is Kill List. Excuse me, sorry guys. It's Kill List. Kill List is directed by Ben Wheatley from a script he co-wrote with Amy Jump. It stars Neil Maskell and Michael Smiley. For those who don't know, Michael Smiley was Tyres on Spaced. As two slightly over-the-hill contract killers preparing for the very cliche one last job. So we've seen that set up before, right? You see it all the time, and we should probably be tired of it by now, but we keep coming back, and we come back because we hope that we might be tricked. The reveal we always want is the morally compromised, haggard, tough guy sacrificing himself for a good cause. Think of Creasy and Man on Fire. Not to get too far down a rabbit hole here, but There's a moment in Tony Scott's Man on Fire where Denzel Washington looks at Christopher Walken and asks, "Do you think God will forgive us for the things we've done?" And Walken, without a hint of emotion and seeming almost as if the question was too stupid to ask, simply says no. And that's almost exactly where Maskell and Smiley are in Kill List when we meet them. The two, mostly because they need money, take a job that requires that they kill 3 men. Jay, played by Maskell, and Gal, played by Smiley, seem to have very different reasons. Jay's wife is angry that he hasn't worked in 8 months and that the money has run out, but Gal simply seems to like the work. Their first target is a priest. When the priest sees Jay coming to kill him, there's recognition and even joy on the priest's face, and he humbly thanks Jay for killing him. This is where we first understand that this may not be the film we signed up for. From the beginning, this is the crime film, the one last job film, and here's where we know something's different. Their second target is called the librarian. He oversees a collection of videotapes that are described as sickening and horrible. The exact nature of the videos is never revealed, but given Jay's reaction and the type of person we know he is, they must be something more than murder, so we assume that they involve children. The librarian also thanks Jay while he's being tortured. Jay takes a hammer to him, and every fucking wet blow is answered with "thank you." Jay finally beats the man to death, and then the movie takes kind of a side quest. So Gal and Jay decide to go and find other people associated with the librarian and kill them, which they do. There's a bit where the two of them try to quit the job they've been hired to do and find out that they can't quit because their families will be murdered if they do. So they go after their final target. The final target's a member of parliament. While doing some reconnaissance, watching the house from the woods that surround it, they witness a strange ritual that culminates in a human sacrifice. Jay does not react well to this, and he starts just shooting wildly at these cultists, for lack of a better word. He kills their leader and several others before the remaining few chase the two of them into a series of weird tunnels that run under the estate. Gal does not survive in the tunnels, but Jay does. He flees to his family cottage where his wife and son are waiting. Unfortunately, the group of cultists find them there. They knock Jay unconscious. He awakes in the woods wearing a mask. It looks like it's made of twigs and sticks and things. He's attacked by what's called the Hunchback, a masked and robed figure hunched over and misshapen. There's a brutal fight, but Jay manages to kill his assailant, stabbing it over and over on all sides. Once the Hunchback falls, it's unrobed, and we discover that it's his wife with her mouth gagged and their son strapped to her back. This actually repeats an early scene where we see Jay playing with his family, and he has a pretend sword fight with his wife while the child is riding on her back. Jay shows zero emotion when he sees his dead family, and he shows no emotion as the cultists place a crown on his head and begin worshiping him. In folk horror, we're accustomed to the outsider being lured in. So, think of Sergeant Howie, Edward Woodward, in The Wicker Man. Jay is lured, but not to a new place, and not, as Howie was, to be a sacrifice. The closest thing that we've seen to this are the endings of Hereditary, Midsommar, and The Witch. In all three of those films, the protagonist is elevated at the ending and can be viewed as happy, at least from a very specific point of view. We could, if we stretch, see something Nietzschean in this tale. So Jay has to defeat his own conception of morality, what Nietzsche would call slave morality, in order to ascend to the point where he can be only bound by master morality, to become the Ubermensch. Jay has to look into the abyss and not only have it look back, but have it bade him welcome. He fights monsters so that he can become the monster. That's Kill List. That is one of the best folk horror films I have ever seen, and Casey hates it.
No, I need to rewatch it because I did watch it years ago, and I do remember not liking it. I wouldn't say hate, really. I was just kind of kidding, but I definitely need to rewatch it because I think I wasn't paying much attention to it partway through too, so I kind of got lost.
So it's very interesting because honestly, if you don't know, it's another one that's good to go in blind. If you don't know that it's folk horror, you start it and it really is the setup of just another crime film. It's just these over the hill guys who have to do one last job, and boy, ain't it gonna go bad. Is this gonna be a Butch and Sundance thing or what? And then it doesn't even like take a turn. It slowly drips in the weirdness into it until finally you realize, holy fuck, this isn't a crime movie.
Yeah, and I think that's why I didn't like it that much, is because I think I checked out too early.
Okay.
And it's not that I don't like crime films. Like I love, like, Pulp Fiction, for example, is amazing.
Yeah.
And I like movies like Casino and Goodfellas and stuff. So I'm not opposed to non-horror, but that one just didn't grab me right from the beginning. So I just kind of zoned out a little bit when I was watching it.
Where'd Josh go? We lost Josh.
I don't know.
And Joey looks catatonic. So I did the weird thing. Now let's do something normal. Casey, tell us what you got.
So this week I've done a lot of gaming, so I didn't watch a lot of movies. I did watch John in the Hole.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. From what I got from it, basically this kid is kind of fed up with his family. He runs across this old bunker that was never finished out in the woods, and one night he basically drugs his family and then drags them into the hole, into the bunker. I don't really know how he got them down there without hurting them, but essentially they're trapped down this bunker with no way out. But yeah, it was good. I gave it a 3 out of 5. And then I watched a terrible movie, Bring It On, Shear or Die, complete crap. I don't know why I watched it.
I tried to watch it. I think I made it about 20 minutes in.
Yeah, I think I watched maybe the first 15, 20 minutes, and then really I started doing other stuff, and I wasn't paying much attention. But I could tell it was terrible. And then I started watching The Lost Boys. I got the 4K of that. Amazing movie. But I was really tired that night, so I fell asleep with probably about 30 minutes left. So I definitely want to pick back up and watch the rest of it in 4K. And then The Iceman Cometh. That was one that I got with my September Vinegar Syndrome subscription package. And I expected to hate it because it's kind of like a kung fu movie. It starts out in I don't know what kind of times you'd call them, but not really medieval times. Basically these guys are fighting in the beginning, and they fall off of this cliff, and it's like a big snowy area, and essentially they get frozen. And then many years later, I believe it was in Hong Kong, these people uncover them. So it's kind of like, and they're like in blocks of ice. And so then they get thawed out, and then they wake up, and suddenly they're in the future. And one of them is a serial rapist, and the other guy is basically chasing after him in Hong Kong. And the beginning of it's reminded me so much of Encino Man, because after the primary character, like the good guy, after he unthaws, he runs into this woman, and she kind of takes him to her apartment. And he's asking he doesn't know what anything is, right? He's because he's from ancient times, so he's mystified by the TV, and he's what is this, and how are these people on here, and what's the telephone, and it reminded me so much of Encino Man at the beginning. There's a lot of comedy in it, but then I kind of got interrupted about halfway through, and I was doing something else while I was watching it. And I just caught the ending, so I'm going to rewatch that. But I can tell you, it's really good. It impressed me, so I'm definitely going to rewatch that. And then the last movie I actually watched was Invasion of the Bee Girls. I watched that this morning, and it's basically about this like lady. She's like a scientist who is turning women into kind of like she's injecting them with something, and then it's making them like bee girls. Basically, their eyes turn black like a queen bee, and then they basically kill guys by having sex with them. But yeah, it sounds stupid, but it's actually really fun. I really enjoyed it. Tons of nudity.
Always good.
Yeah, tons of nudity. Very good nudity. Definitely worth a watch. I mean, it's a fun movie too. And then as far as buying stuff, I ordered 10 movies from the Shout Factory Shocktober sale. I don't even remember what all I ordered. I got Animal, or not Animal. Animal is one I ordered. I ordered Cabin Fever, the remake, which was weird. I don't know why they remade it in such a short time after the original. And it's not as good as the original, but that was one of them I got. But I'm still waiting on the rest of them to come. And then they announced Black Christmas and Carrie in 4K and Pulp Fiction in 4K. I pre-ordered all three of those. And then for some weird reason, last night I pre-ordered Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 Steelbook Collection. I don't know. It was just...
How much were you drinking?
I wasn't drinking. I didn't drink last night. I didn't... Yeah. But I don't know. I may cancel. I pre-ordered on Amazon, so I can always change my mind. And then I had stuff that came in. I got the Halloween 4K collection, the 6 through 8 from Shout Factory. Luckily, everything was in perfect condition. There was no scratches on the disc or grease in the cases. So that's good. And then I got the Scream 2 4K Steelbook and Fright Night 4K Steelbook. So I can't wait to dig into those. And then I thought today I was getting some more, but they're still out. The Fog 4K, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. So I'm still waiting on those.
But you did show us some movies that you got in. I'm going to pull those up, actually. Look like you got Blood and Black Lace.
Nice. That's Mario Bava, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I have seen that once. I don't remember a whole lot about it. I do remember liking it. And I remember it looked like it didn't look like it. I know it was filmed in the 60s. And it didn't look like it was filmed in the 60s. Like it looked really good. But I do remember liking it. And then I can't even remember what all I got today.
Mark of the Devil. It looks like a lot of these are era releases, but Mark of the Devil was this.
Yeah, Mark of the Devil. I haven't seen that. And then
Jaws of Death.
No. The Jaws of Death was an advertisement.
Oh, I see that now.
For another movie.
Party Dis.
No, I don't know why I can't remember these. I just shelved them today.
Death Week? No, that's not.
No. That's it.
Oh, Death Weekend.
Death Weekend. The title you said is like I think it's Spanish. I can't remember. Maybe it's Dutch name for it. And then
Curious Female.
The Curious Female. That's the other one. Yeah, those 4 I didn't pre-order. Those are just random ones that I ordered, mainly because Blood and Black Lace was. I think it's already out of print, but Diabolic DVD said that they had a few in stock that they got a hold of. So I went ahead and was like, screw it, and I ordered that and a few more. But yeah, that's all that's gone with me as far as movie watching goes. I play a lot of Dead by Daylight. I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with that game, but
that game.
Somebody listening is familiar with that game.
Yeah, but it's a horror game. I mean, you got all sorts of killers in it. Some of them are made up by the developers, and some of them are licensed. Like you got Michael Myers in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and you got Pinhead from Hellraiser. and some other ones. But essentially, you're just 4 survivors trying to power on 5 generators to then power on the exit gates that you got to open up before the killer kills you.
Very frustrating game. I hate it.
I don't think so. It's amazing. I love it. I've been playing it for about over 4 years now.
It's free too, isn't it? Still.
It is still free. Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep. You gotta buy the add-on characters, but they come out maybe once every couple months. And when you get them, you usually get the killer, some survivors. Like we just got some people from Resident Evil games, like Wesker, and there's also the Nemesis. And then there's some of the good guy, the cops from the Resident Evil games in there.
Oh, Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight.
Okay.
But yeah, just the standard package. You can get at least you can get it free on. I don't know about PC, but you can get it free on like PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, it's available on PC. I think it was through Steam on PC.
Epic Games also has it, so maybe you can get it for free through there too. But yeah, usually around this time, around Halloween time and other holidays, they have special events. So I usually start playing a little more around this time because they give you extra blood points and stuff to spend on your character and unlock outfits and stuff like that. So I spent a lot of time this week playing that.
Cool. Awesome. That sounds like fun. I'm going to have to check that game out, especially free.
Yeah, I didn't know about the free thing.
Yeah, I like free.
Yeah.
Joe hates the game. Casey loves the game. Josh?
I've never heard of it.
Okay. All right. So you and I will have to check it out, and then we'll be like the tiebreakers.
There we go.
All right.
It's a fun game. It's just very frustrating. It's like, because you're sitting there completing these tasks, getting the generators and everything going, and as you're doing it, you're getting attacked by the killer. It's like,
well, but it's a big. I mean, most of the maps are pretty big. I mean, and some of them are even multi-level. Like it's got the level, like it's got a level like the warehouse from Saw, one of the Saw movies. So it's actually 2 floors. But there's some bigger maps, and there's usually like I think maybe 8 to 9 generators spread around the map, and you got to get 5 of them, and you got 4 survivors, so you can all team up on one gen, or you can just go and try doing yourself or whatever. So the killer's not always after you. You may have just got unlucky a lot of times, and the killer was, going right after you or found you first. But I mean, once you get used to it, it's really easy to actually hide from the killer. You can jump in lockers and hide from him, and it just the killer sees in first person, and you see your character as a survivor in third person. So it's actually a little easier for you to kind of see where to go to hide to get out of his line of sight. So it's not too difficult once you know that and learn all the tricks.
Awesome. All right. Well, I know something I'm going to have to do this week. Okay. I think we're probably a buck and a half in on this so far.
About an hour and 17, and I think worth pointing out we're just about a week away from Halloween Ends coming out.
Yay! And I'm going to be watching Hellraiser maybe when we're done recording here in a minute. So I'm going to take a minute to tell everybody this has been Bloodfest, the podcast. I'm Nate. That's Casey. That one up there is Josh, and the guy over there, that's Joey. If you like what you hear on it, like what you hear on this, please take a minute to give us a 5-star review, rating, share it, tell your friends, subscribe. Subscribing is a big deal. If you'll please just subscribe. If you want to reach out to us, bloodfestpodcast@gmail.com. That's bloodfestpodcast@gmail.com. Send us questions, suggestions, hate mail, pictures of your feet, whatever you want. Some people like that. We're going to send him to Tarantino. He'll give us free Blu-rays. Now, where was I? You can follow us on Twitter. You can find us on the Facebook. Joey's building us an OnlyFans. Eventually, we'll have a TikTok. And you can always find info about the show at www.bloodfestpodcast.com. That's www.bloodfestpodcast.com. For all the rats and mice living under my house, I'm saying good night, baby.